Hi, my name is Janice Leon and welcome to my color course. For this video, you will learn how to do this halfway cut crease with rainbow on the eyelid and a sunset eye on the top. So for this look, we will be using multiple colors. I think I used like 8 to 9 colors. So make sure you have enough brushes. I will list all products that I use below and on the screen. I will go as in depth as I can. And I'm gonna do some cutouts only when I'm like looking down. But for the most part, I'm gonna leave everything in. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope that it is very detailed and explained well enough for you to easily catch on and to learn how to blend. Learning how to blend is so easy. You just need to practice. And with an expert like myself doing eyeshadow all the time, you will know how to do it by the end of this video. So for any questions, make sure you reach out to me on my platforms. Leave a review if you can. And thank you so much. To prime my lids before eyeshadow application, I do not use an eyeshadow primer. Your concealer will work just as fine, as long as it is tacky and the texture of it is kind of thick. And you want to use a concealer shade that is 2 to 3 tones lighter than your skin tone, so that the payoff of your eyeshadows are much more brighter. Using a brush of this size will help with precision and to be able to blend those colors together. If you are using a bigger brush, remember you are moving that color in a bigger area. So the smaller the brush, the smaller the area. And we really want to contain those colors in their precise placements, especially since we're working with multiple colors. Now we are doing a transition. So we are going to go in with a yellow first, then an orange, and then a red. We are doing it in this order so that it will have an array of color from top to bottom and bottom to top. So as you can see, I am blending that red into the orange, and then I'm going to go back with orange and blend those colors together to then mix up all the way to the yellow. You want to have a seamless blend, and if a color is more overpowering than the other, you're going to want to go to the less overpowering color and put more on, because you want all those colors to be noticeable but still wanting to keep a seamless blend. So now, to emphasize and do a little bit of darkness, we're going to go into this burgundy shade of color, and this will really help with the edge of the cut crease, so it looks like it will be very sharp once we do cut out our cut crease.
Couple stares, couple texts, couple dates, couple I think that we're ready, couple I think we should wait. Are we acting like a couple? I'm just trying to get it straight, cause I'm over here.
I do not use just one layer of eyeshadow. I pick up the eyeshadow at least 3 to 5, even 6 different times, and packing it on. If you really want your eyeshadow to be vibrant, you have to pack it on. So in this picture, you can see I have created 2 different ways that you can look at your eyes to know where your eyeshadow placement should be if you are doing a cut crease. When you are relaxed, you can look at your eyes in the mirror and you can really see if you have a crease or a droop. and the eyeshadow must be on top of that crease or droop. As you can see, I'm really trying to put those colors more high up into even my brow bone, and that's okay because it'll be a seamless blend. You want all those colors to be on top because remember, we're going to clean up under there, and once we clean up, most of that color is going to come off and you're going to have to go back in, and that's what you're going to see me do. So I am cleaning up my cut crease with micellar water, and you're just following the line above your crease. So as you can see, I'm always putting my eyebrows up because if I am in a natural stance, you can see my droop or my crease per se, and we want those colors to be above that. So I am cleaning up above that line, and you can see some of that color is leaving, but that's okay because I'm going to go back in and amplify those colors once again. Some people might ask, why do I use micellar water? Why don't I just go straight in with concealer? And my answer to that is, it's not going to be as sharp. If you are going in with concealer, remember, those eyeshadows are going to get wet and move with the concealer because of the consistency of the concealer. You want to use something that is thick, and I use a P.Louse blank canvas paint to cut my crease. But I do not want the color of my concealer or paint to change because it's going to be moving that eyeshadow if it's under it, if you get what I'm saying. So I rather clean up that space with micellar water so you can see that my lid space is now just going to be the color of the concealer / paint. I do not want there to be any notice of color under there from that eyeshadow. So I rather clean it up, and also it also helps with creating the shape of your cut crease if you are struggling. It's better to practice and clean up rather than going straight in with that concealer, because what if you do mess up? What if you go too low? What if you go too high? It's easier to practice in that way of sort of cleaning up and then going on with your concealer and or paint, so it's seamless. The color is not disrupting with your concealer, you're not moving anything under, and you're already packing on your concealer color on a clean base. When you're getting to the end of the cut crease, right when you're winging it out, you want to make sure that you are looking straight forward just so you can see how high up, as if you're doing a wing liner per se. You want to make sure that when you're opening your eyes or closing them, that your cut crease right there at the end of your eye is not getting in your eyeshadow. So for that part, you could literally make a little line with your concealer just to make sure that in that part you don't go too low, and then you want to wing it out as if you're doing an eyeliner. So as you can see here, I'm just bringing it up a little bit higher just because it was too low for my eyes. So I'm bringing it up a little bit higher, placing that concealer down, and then wigging it out as if I was doing an eyeliner. Depending on the cut crease, you could keep winging it out however long that you want it to be. But we're not doing it that long since we're going to diffuse it out with color. Here I am using a clean, small brush just to blend the concealer with the eyeshadow in that corner. So in the beginning, I didn't set my concealer when applying the colors just because the concealer I used wasn't that thick of a consistency. So I knew when I would put on the eyeshadow, it wouldn't mesh or disrupt the pigment of the eyeshadow or the way I was blending the eyeshadow. But since I am using the P.Louse blank canvas, it is a thicker consistency than the Too Faced concealer that I use on my eyelids. So therefore, I must set it in place. Also, it does dry, but it does take a while to dry and set by itself. So I'd rather use the Dermablend powder to set it prior to the addition of my eyeshadows. If you are using like a glitter, then you could keep it without setting it because you want the tackiness of that concealer to really hold on to the glitter or the pigment that you're putting onto your lid. So now you can see I am going in with a flat small brush and I'm using that dark Reckless color to really define that edge of the crease. So if you feel like it's not as sharp as you would want it to be, all you really have to do is go in with that last color, the darkest color that you use, and just clean up the edges, and it really will define
man.
Now this is where we're going to start packing on those colors to do the rainbow. So when you are packing on colors, you want to tap in. We are not blending, we are not combining, we are just tapping on the colors. And I am just picking up color and putting it on my lid. That's all you are doing. And you're gonna put it precisely where you want that color to be so it can stay. Remember, that's why we are using a small, dense brush. As you can see, I am just laying the colors right next to each other. It may seem like we're putting them on top of one another, and that is exactly what we're doing. We are not going to be doing circular motions right here. We are only tapping the colors in. So now we're just tapping on the rest of the shades, just so we know where exactly we want the colors to be and in what order. this is where we're going to start using the circular motions to blend. So now we're going to be packing on the color first, right exactly we want the precise color to be at. Once we have it coated all over the lid, we are going to start circular motions, very little, just at the edges of the two colors. So you can see I am pushing that blue into that purple. And then I will do small circular motions. And if you think the purple is overpowering the blue, you put more blue. If you think there's more blue than purple, you put more purple. And you just keep going back and forth with those colors. And again, if you want the intensity and the pigment of your eyeshadows to show, you have to layer it on. Like I said, I go in 3 to 5 times picking up the eyeshadow color.
Fucking up a check, I don't want to receipt. Mind get possessed, let my spirit speak freely. Hey, my past can't escape me. My pussy precedes me. My how the times change. I'm still playing the victim and you still playing the pick me. It's so embarrassing. All of the things I do.
So again, you're just going in a diagonal motion just to pack those colors on. And do not worry if some of those colors get on that reckless color, because we are going to clean that up again like we did before at the end after we put on all those colors on the lid.
You ain't getting your bitch back. Calm down, she could be worse, never say that. I don't want pipe down, rather get paid back. Mama told me never see where you lay at. I don't want righteousness, I hurt too much, I lost too much, I lost too much, I hit my clutch and boom.
Make note of the space and what you're putting on, because if it's not a big space and you're over here blending your eyeshadow, it's not going to be precise.
Snakes in the grass, let a nigga know that he arrived. Don't be sleeping on your level, cause it's beauty in the struggle, nigga. It's beauty in the struggle, nigga. Yeah. It's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Hear my words and listen to my signal of distress. I grew up in the city and know sometimes we had less. Compared to some of my niggas down the block, man, we were blessed. And life can't be no fairy tale, no once upon a time. But I be goddamn if a nigga don't be trying. So tell me, mama, please, why you be drinking all the time? Cause all the pain he brought you still linger in your mind. Cause pain still lingers on mine. On the road to riches, listen, this is what you find. The good news is, nigga, you came a long way. Bad news is, nigga, you went the wrong way. Being broke is better. Life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Think being broke is better. Life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing. For what's money without happiness? Or hard times without the people you love? Though I'm not sure what's about to happen next. I ask for strength from the Lord above, cause I've been strong so far, but I can feel my grip loosening. Quick, do something before you lose it for good. Get it back and use it for good, and touch the people how you did like before. I'm tired of living with demons cause they always inviting more. Think being broke was better. Now I don't mean that phrase with no disrespect to all my niggas out there living in debt, cashing minimal checks. Turn on the TV, see a nigga Rolex, and fantasize about a life with no stress. I mean this shit sincerely, and as a nigga who was once in your shoes, living with nothing to lose. I hope one day you hear me. Always gonna be a bigger house somewhere, but nigga feel me. Long as the people in that motherfucker love you dearly.
I do not go in straight in with my brush packed with foundation because I do not like that cakey feel. I'd rather put a thin layer or one layer of foundation and then go in with my brush and blend it in. So now I am contouring my face with my cream contour. If you have a similar face shape to mine, I put a lot on my forehead and on the top of my cheeks. If you need help with contouring, the key thing is if you are contouring your cheeks, you want to start off at the top of your ear and you're going to want to make a line in your head from the top of your ear to your nose, the bottom of your nose.
I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, two-turn baby girl, you know me, still with the dolls that I grew beside, all the niggas around me, cry that they die, gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. I'm outside in an AMG.
When placing your blush, there's two placements you could initially do. You could put them high up on your cheek, or you could really put it right there in the center of your face. It just depends what vibe you're going for and what type of look you want for your face that day. Ideally, remember that it would make your face look two different ways. So just test it out and see which placement is best for your face shape. First, I am going in with the shade Vanilla in all the areas that I usually highlight. And then under my eyes only, I will put on a second concealer. And it is way lighter than the first one. Just because I like a bright under eye. Remember, clean up your eyeshadow so that when you're blending your concealer, it doesn't get into your eyeshadow. So I just like to carve it up and clean it up. And then bring some of that concealer down, just so when I'm using that concealer brush, it doesn't get in my eyeshadow.
Right outside, PT, two-turn baby girl, you know me. Yeah. Who am I? All the niggas around me, die. Gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. Two-turn baby girl, you know me.
You don't just contour with cream contour. You could also contour your face with concealer. I do this by putting the concealer right by my lips, as you can see, and I chisel out my cheeks. Since I have a round face, I like to make the illusion of my cheeks at least looking a little bit smaller. So I like to chisel underneath of my cream contour. And you could also do this if you just want to clean up your contour and you went too low.
I'm outside in it. I'm
Now I am going to set my face in all the areas that I use foundation and or concealer. So the most asked question I get is, what's the difference between setting and baking? So setting, you are setting the concealer so it is not wet anymore, and you want to do this. So during the day, your concealer does not move or your foundation does not move. So you are initially setting it into place. And while you're setting it into place, you are using a color that is close to your skin tone. if you are baking, you are not setting it into place. You are not buffing it into your skin. You are creating a thin layer sitting on top of your skin because you want the appearance of those designated areas to pop. So initially, you would be using a light color or a white color to bake. So when I am baking, I put it under my eyes because I like a bright under eye. I put it on my nose and any other places in my face that I really want to emphasize. I like a lot of dimension in my face. That's why I bake almost everywhere, but you do not have to. Ideally, the most common place to bake is under your eyes. Now I'm going to set my contour and my blush.
Your fragrance, hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit, and I know your taste is a little bit, high maintenance, everybody else basic, you live life on an everyday basis, with poetic justice, if I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? I mean, I write poems in these songs, dedicated to you, and you're in the mood for empathy, there's blood in my pen.
Now we are going to finish the under eyeshadow, and we are first going in with the shade Reckless with a small flat shader brush, and we are using this brush and its small size to really press that color close to the lash line and the waterline. Now we are still using the same M506, M507 size brushes, and you are basically going to blend those colors into the Reckless shade. Make sure that you're blending real close to the lash line. Now for the waterline, I am putting in the P.Louse blank canvas. This is a multi-use product, so you can use it for a lot of different things. So I am using it to brighten my eye a bit. As you can see, that really emphasized the pop of the color compared to the other eye without it. And now we're going to do the same thing once again.
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus clouds all in the sky ruin my vibe. Usually I don't do this often, but since recruiting isn't an option due to unusual rain and thunder, baby, I wonder, would you just put your sweats on for me? Yeah. I got the plug, I made the call for me. I'm talking late night for you. Let me lay a great time on you. Don't hesitate, no, don't you? Just say you will.
When taking off your bake, you're going to want to press it into the skin, and anything that's remaining, you can blend it away.
in my head, told them, don't know how you get down with them clowns, but I'm a soldier.